Hello and welcome everyone to the Awakening Study Group. We are starting this group because we have noticed, right? You are there because you have encountered Michael Monk's work, and Michael has a lot to teach. Has a lot of material like on different websites. What we have noticed is there's a lot of you who have access to the material but are not really engaging on the path. And we totally understand. So my goal here is to give you like uh, these easy first steps for you to start to engage on the path. And that's why we have this Awakening Study Group. So the purpose of this group is to have people like you and me, like-minded people who are seeking, who are seekers, and who feel that there's more to life than the physical world. There's more to, but they're seeking and they want to find out what's more. So the first steps towards that is spiritual awakening. So what is that, And everyone talks about awakening, but there's no proper definition of what spiritual awakening is. And there's a lot of interpretation, is what I mean. But here with Michael, uh, and the definition for us is when someone really identifies with his spirit instead of the physical body. When you realize that you are the spirit and that you have a physical body, and it's an internal process, you have to come to that realization, and someone can tell you 100 times that you are spirit and you're not the physical body. But if you do not experience it yourself, if you don't feel it yourself, you will never get to this realization, and thus never get to awakening. And Michael's teachings has laid out a process by which you can engage on that path and get to awakening. And then, as I said earlier, uh, this material is accessible, but something is slowing people down, if you want, or not allowing them to engage on the path. So that's the purpose of this group. We're gonna talk about awakening. We're gonna remove those small mental blockages and help you feel energy and start to realize what it is, and thus getting to awakening. So is that good for all of you? And I know there are some old students here and some new. So the old students, I'm sure they're gonna find value too for today, because my topic will the main topic is gonna be how to slow down the thoughts. Because as we saw, just a minute. Just a small technical glitch here. As we saw last time, in order to get in touch with spirit, we have to let's get in touch with ourselves, in our sense of self. And our sense of self is presence, is what we feel, right? So wherever you feel something, you have presence there, and starting to focus on those areas helps you feel more. And that's the process of growth as spirit. And I won't go back to the exercises we did last time because I'm gonna use another topic today. But I may drop the link here for anybody who wants to go back and watch the recording. But the point is to be able to focus on one area in particular for a specific amount of time requires focus. And we all have this obstacle, if you want, that prevents us from being in a specific spot for a certain amount of time, and that's the thinking mind. That's the mind, that the chatter, the mind who always runs like the amphibian, as I say. And it's important for us if you want to grow, if you want to grow our spirit, if you want to grow and awaken, we have to learn to manage that. We have to choose to manage our thoughts because they always come around like on their own, it's always coming. So what do we do? First, we have to learn to dissociate from the thinking mind. We have to understand that we are not the thinking mind, and then that we can detach from it. And a very basic and powerful exercise for that is to just choose to locate your mind elsewhere from your head. We, as humans, we think that our mind is in the brain, so we always identify mind with brain. But as spirit, we are mind. So mind is everywhere that we are, and that's the truth in spirit. But you can use that to detach from your idea of self, which is the mind is in the brain, and spread it elsewhere. And we're gonna do it right here. So you can so when I do those study groups, I like to do those small exercises just to give you like little snippets and get you going. You have to feel. That's the most important thing. If you can feel, that's the starting point. So first, if it's easy for you to feel your hands just by focusing on your hands, that's good. But if not, rub your hand until they become hot. Rub on your hand until you can feel them just by putting them upward like that. So now, depending on how easy it is, you can put your hands like by your head like that, or you can put them on front. I suggest if you're just starting, if the first time you're doing like this sort of exercises, to put them uh, just across your head like that. But if you're used to energy work, you can put them in front of you. Okay. So let's say the hands are there. And imagine that, okay, your brain has a right hemisphere and a left hemisphere, right? So imagine that you're there, there's presence there. Imagine you are your brain. And as we said, energy flows where attention goes. If you put attention there, energy will flow there. And there will be an increase in presence. An increase in presence is an increase in sensation, right? An increase in feeling. So you're going to feel something the more you focus there. So your brain is there, your brain is still in your head. Now just change the idea of your brain being in your head and allow your brain to be outside and touching your hands, which are across of your head, like that. So the right hemisphere is touching your right hand, and the left hemisphere is touching the left hand. Your brain just expands all around and touches your hands. Relax. There's no forcing. Just imagine. Imagine, and anything you feel, validate that's the truth. You are feeling your brain touching your hand. Validate again. Each time the feeling grows, validate it. So those of you who will have success, you will definitely feel like either like heat or cold or tingling sensation or even like an electromagnetic pulse like happening in between your hands and your head like that. So that's the first step. You're trying to expand what your idea of mind. And if you do it, if you are successful with that, so it becomes easier for you to put your hands like further in front of you. And imagine that, let's do it together. So if you got success, has anyone got success with this part? Okay, very good. It's very good. And that is presence. That's literally presence. And presence is spirit. It's as simple as that, guys. It's so simple. And the idea of you being a physical human body is just that. It's just an idea. Your consciousness is free and it's completely free. We just chose to be there for that moment because there's a purpose to that incarnation. You know? There's a purpose to that, and we're gonna learn that the more. Now we're gonna stay for this. For now, we're gonna stay in the basics and help you get to awakening. I don't want to get too complete. My mind often goes like far very quick. I have to restrain myself and stay into awakening phase so that you all of you can follow. So let's do the second part and have your hands in front of you like that. Maybe like 1 feet distant from 30 centimeters distant from your chest, from like that. Now bring presence into your hand. You can use, you're gonna find that the spirit, okay, the presence is like a fluid. It's fluid. Presence is fluid. So it flows wherever you bring your attention. And it can flow it flows differently from a fluid, like a known fluid, a physical fluid. A physical fluid like water or air, there's a certain limitation to it, right? It cannot take displace. It cannot go from there and appear here. It has to flow. But spirit, it has even more freedom. So it can flow or it can displace. So if you imagine that you have a part of your presence in front of you like that, you can just condense a part of you there, you know. And so if you're trying to put presence into your hands, you can use all of that. You can use the fact that it can flow as a fluid, so you can flow from elsewhere, maybe from your head to your hands, or you can just appear in your hands, like glowing in your hands. It depends on which symbol is more powerful for you. So when I say bring presence into your hands, you have to choose which uh, symbol is more potent for you. You could imagine that energy is condensing from all around into your hands. You can imagine that just concentrating on your hands make them glow and presence is there. But you can choose to flow presence from elsewhere, maybe from your head, from your heart. And it's all uh, self-expression, you know, as spirit. And so let's do it together. You're going to bring presence into your hand. So focus on your hands more and more. And the more you focus on your hand, acknowledge that presence is growing. Acknowledge that it's getting stronger and stronger. It's getting thicker and thicker. Your hands are getting thicker and thicker with presence. The more you focus on your hand, the sensation of heat grows. And you can sink even into your hands and feel the beat in your hands, the blood flowing, add more and more presence. Now, now imagine that your right hand is your brain's right hemisphere, and your left hand is the brain's left hemisphere. Every thought from there on during this exercise is coming from your hands. Your brain is literally expanding past your head and encompassing your hands. Continue to validate whatever you're feeling. And continue to imagine your hands getting denser and denser the more you focus on them. Imagine again that the right hemisphere of the brain is your right hand, and the left hemisphere is your left hand. And let your mind expand. You're not in your physical brain anymore. You're expanded. Breathe slowly and relax. There's no force required. I think it matters. All right. Has anyone had success with this? Or if anyone has any difficulty, just tell me. That's why we have this group, right? We don't want to leave anyone behind. We want to bring everyone. So if you have any difficulty, just let me know. I'm gonna address it. I'm sure any question any question you have is gonna help everyone. So don't ever feel ashamed to ask any question. Very good. Good presentation. So very good. So that it's as simple as that. So my point is, once you start to feel and you start to understand how spirit is, how free spirit is, it becomes easier for you to identify then with the spirit because you're starting to move it with your own willpower. You're choosing to place your presence like where you're deciding, right? If you choose your hands, you're placing presence there. If you choose your feet, you're placing putting presence there. And you can move it through your body. When moving through the body, do it as slowly as you can, but stay with the sensation and feel it moving through the body. Then it's gonna happen, you're gonna come to that realization that, okay, that's like a body inside the physical body. It is completely different. And I'm moving that body and I am that body, that spirit. So that is that. So the mind is excuse me. So the mind is not the brain. So that's the first part. Start to detach from the idea that the brain is the mind. So the mind is everywhere you put your focus on. That's the first step to be able to control the thought. So once you have that, uh, and when you feel the thoughts start to roll, it's easier to say, okay, I'm not that. I can detach. You can place put your presence elsewhere. And then let me give you like my understanding of what those thoughts are, right? We have presence, we are presence, and the presence is located like throughout the physical body. Um, when we are in our normal waking state, if you just focus, you will feel that the most of your presence is up there because you're experiencing the world from your eyes, from your ears, and expressing from your mouth. So most of your presence is over there. And so it's easy to get stuck there. It's easy to think that you're a physical body and get stuck there. But once you detach, you detach from the idea of that, you can flow it down, right? But it will always call us back because there's a process happening into your brain over time. Everything that your brain is analyzing, it's like putting in order into your brain. So maybe you see like just give an example. You see a yellow car on the road. So that yellow car is getting registered into your brain and it gets associated with everything that you know is yellow. Maybe you saw another yellow car, maybe associate that with taxis, the brain starts to connect that with your memory and put it like in certain boxes. So there's that process happening all the time. And when we have our presence like laid over there, it's easy to get trapped into that process. And then we get into those thought spirals, that don't stop. We're just getting trapped into the processes of the physical brain that associate things and put them in order and order. So once you detach from that and see, okay, that process, you don't want to stop that process, right? Your brain is your brain. It's autonomous. It's from the spirit. It's from the physical body. Uh, yeah, from the physical body. I won't go deep into that, but it's in the physical body. And you can dissociate from it without it stopping to work. So you allow it to do its thing. The only thing is you detach from it and you don't have to be involved in that process, it's happening automatically. So choosing to detach from it doesn't mean you're silencing your mind, uh, stopping your brain from working. It's just that you're detaching from it and you don't even have to witness it. But then you have to replace your this involvement, if you want, with something else. So you are involved with your mind processes, and you cannot just detach and be in emptiness. You have to be involved with something else. So the best way is to get involved with the sense of touch more. So feel more. So you detach from your brain, realize that the mind is where you put your attention, and choose to put your attention elsewhere in any moment. All right. So we're gonna do that just as a test, and I will suggest that you can write that down and do it as a test, maybe weekly. Just sit down and just don't think. Just say I'm not thinking. Just sit there and analyze, observe how long it takes you to have a thought pop up. You're not trying to force anything. You're just analyzing this. Let's say seeing how good you are at just not thinking. So that's the assessment. You can do that like once a week and daily. You can just choose to put your awareness in a defined space. Maybe you can choose your feet or the bottom of your feet and feel it more and more. Maybe you can choose your knees and feel it more and more, your thighs and feel more and more. Do that, and with adding that your brain is not your mind. Your mind is wherever you put your attention. Then it becomes easier First, you're already detached from the processor, right? But it's always calling you back. So the way to not go back is to imagine that the thoughts are coming from the spaces you're focusing on. So that's the next step before. Let me. Is everyone getting that, or should I repeat just the this part of the process? Okay, I repeat. So for now, let's say when you're not awakened, you think that your mind is your brain. In order to awaken as spirit, you have to bring uh, more awareness wherever you want, any place you want, maybe your hands or your feet. You have to choose to put your awarenesses for a certain amount of time to be able to awaken. So that's the path of awakening. But in order to do that, we have to get past the obstacle of this constant, those constant thought patterns, you know. And the way to do that is first to detach the mind from the brain. The mind is not the brain, the mind is wherever you put your awareness. Then any thought that happens that triggers, like that gets triggered, imagine that it's coming from the place you're working on, maybe your hands, your arms, and it's gonna help you. First, it's gonna silence. You're gonna see when you do that, the thought patterns is gonna be looser. It's gonna be easier to just let go of them. Like they will be like passing clouds. You know? You just feel this process happening, but you can let go of it, like clouds passing. So is that clear for that part? I guess it's clear for everyone. Very good. Yes, you're welcome. So the fact is very easy to grow our spirit and to awaken. It's very no, not that easy, but very simple. It's complete utter simplicity, but it's just that we are trapped in these all of these different ideas of self, and it prevents us from just appreciating the simplicity of this. You know? And yes, next I would like to just address like maybe harder parts of controlling the thoughts, because you know I said that okay, when you feel the thoughts and detach like that, then it's easy when you just like thinking lightly of things, you know, when you see something or you just think about something. But when you have like deeper emotions attached to those thoughts, then it gets harder to detach. But there are some process I'm going to share with you just to help you with that. Okay. So let's talk about anxiety and stress. Okay. What triggers anxiety and stress? Normally, there are thoughts about an uncertainty in the future. When you don't know what's going to happen in the future and or what step to take in the future, it triggers fear. Then when this lasts uh, long for a longer period of time, it becomes anxiety. And every thought will trigger every. No, let me rephrase that. this feeling is happening inside of you, right? This emotion, like a storm happening inside your lower chest area. You have fear and anxiety. This feeling is gonna trigger thoughts. It's gonna remind you of it all of the time. That's why you get stuck. Maybe when you lay down to go to sleep and you can't sleep, and those thoughts coming and don't stop. This is the feelings are triggering the thought. So the way to address that is to address the feeling. So you don't address the thoughts. Again, you have to slow down the thoughts first. Use the fact that the mind is free from the brain. You detach from the brain. So mind is wherever you choose to be. You can choose your right hand, your left hand. Your brain is that, and it's gonna slow down the thoughts automatically, right? When you detach like that, you're gonna experience it yourself. This is how you slow down the thoughts. You detach from it. Then you focus on the feeling. What's happening inside? What's most of the time when someone is not yet awakened, they think that the thoughts are triggering the feelings. And it can be true, right? You can have a thought triggering the feeling, but if it's a long-lasting feeling like anxiety, it's most of the time the anxiety are triggering the thoughts. But it's because someone is not like focused like that, they think that the thoughts are triggering the feeling. So maybe they try to think positively, but they don't really address the feeling and all that. But it doesn't really help, it doesn't really solve the issue. So when you start to awaken like that and realize that you're already free, like a fluid form of energy, you detach from the thought, address the feeling, and remember that spirit is like fluid, like water or air, and even more, even more fluid, more movable. But you can use that. Let me put the camera on my lower steering. Maybe you see me? It's like my video froze. Can anybody hear me? But can you still hear me? Hello. Oh, yeah, moving again. So most of the time when you feel this anxiety, it's like a storm happening in the lower chest area, like that. When you detach from thought and feel presence wherever you choose, maybe your hand like that, then you can bring presence to these feelings. Just acknowledge them. You're not trying to change them or anything. You're not important thing to understand with moving spirit. You don't ever force anything. Each time you force something, you detach from spirit. So always remember. Always remember that you always have to have that relaxed state when you move spirit. It's in a relaxed. Michael has two words that he always uses, and they are very powerful words: grace and nonchalance. You always want to move spirit in grace and nonchalance. You're not forcing anything. So when you bring your presence into your hands like that, bring presence on your chest, lower chest area where you feel all the storms of feeling. Then you caress it with your hands. Maybe so when you feel the feeling in your hand, there's presence there, right? So you use that to caress the sensations you have in your lower chest area. And just tend to bring them up. You're caressing them very lightly, like feather light uh, sensations with your hands that pull up these ruminating energies and let them flow up. You're gonna feel a great relief from that. It's gonna the thoughts are gonna, as long as this feeling is gonna be silent, the thoughts are not gonna come back. But of course, if the situation is still there, the situation that brings anxiety, maybe you're still in that uncertain that situation, uncertain in situation, excuse me, the feeling may come back. So you have to address that too. That's a longer term, you know. That's you want to address that, have a solution for that longer term. And what we do as awakened beings, we don't try to solve issues outside. We don't look outside and try to find solution. As soon as we gently like address the issue inside, we caress the energy, we make ourselves feel better like that. Then the essence, you have to be comfortable with the uncertainty. We have to learn to be fine or to be at peace with not knowing what's next. So that's something you have to work on yourself. Build the mindset that okay, it's all right. It's you never know what you never really know what's next, right? We no one knows the future, so it's part of life to to step like in the dark like that. So you have to be at peace with that. Be at peace with not knowing what step to take next, because when the step needs to be taken, you will know what to do. So that's a fact. You if you look at your life, if you could look back, it's always been like that. You did what you had to do in the moment, but you had to do them, and you're gonna do that in the future too. So this is gonna help you live in this identity. And what we do here too, because we are very close to God. How awakening for us um, is the path God has laid for us. So God has given us the physical body, put us as spirit in the physical body to awaken, then to grow, then to get closer to God. So we are on this path towards God. And because we are on this path towards God, we have a relationship with God, you know, we are being called by God. And so, yes, we know that God loves us too as parent. So when we have these, let's say, issues happening in our lives, we first get out. You do the process. You have to detach from the thoughts. You have to get into the feeling, make you feel better. So just handle the bad feelings, make you feel better, and then pray. Pray to God and ask God for what's next. Ask God to guide you into the next step. And that's what I do, and I've been successful with that. I mean, successful in a way that I don't get anxious because life happens, you know, life happens, but I don't get anxiety. An issue happens, I manage my emotional state, uh, which uh, which helps me get into clarity of thinking. Because if I manage my emotional state, there won't be those thoughts, the thought pattern getting triggered all the time. So I can just think clearly, and I don't think, you know, I pray, and I I focus on what I want in that moment. And let me try to find an example for it. Mm. Yeah, at some point, an example in my own life. I was growing in spirit and awakened already. I had a job as a janitor. I was working as a janitor, but I had to. It wasn't a good environment. I had to get out of there, and it was still. I was still growing up and still learning how to manage my anxiety and all that. But I realized when I had this peace inside of me and I had this clarity, I could focus on what I want. I could choose what I want. So I chose a certain feeling. I chose like a certain feeling of well-being, of being feeling good wherever I am. So that's what I focus on. Then and I found a path outside of this job. Now I'm not there anymore. I changed, and there were several steps in between. So sometimes it can be a long process. You have to be patient, you know. With God, you have to be very patient because God is outside of time. God places things on our timeline at the perfect time, and because God sees everything. We have to be patient and focus on what we want. That state, if you if you're aware of the teachings of the law of attraction, helps you even more to get to where you want because it aligns you with the sensation you will feel when you have what you want. Because when you focus on the feeling, that's what's more important, right? Let's say someone says, "Okay, I want a new car." So why do you want a new car? You know, the person, if the person dives deeper into why they want that new car, they will get into the feeling they want to have when they get that new car. So it's the feeling they're after. So every time you feel you have these situations, you know, things happen in life. Take time to disconnect from the force. Take time to handle the emotions, and then focus on what you want. This is uh, this is gonna really help you manage anxiety and get to where you want faster, and help you with your energy practice because not having anxiety gives you like helps you have more effective exercises. You're not lost in thought. Sometimes someone can say, okay, I'm going to sit down 30 minutes for meditation. And when they sit down, they start to think and maybe they have an alarm. The alarm rings, 30 minutes has passed and they didn't even like really meditate, you know, they just sat down and thought. And they were thinking all the time. So it's going to help you detach from the thoughts and have more effective meditation sessions and energy practice sessions. And yeah, you're going to see. Does anyone have any question on that? I wanted to share that because it's very important for your path forward, for you to not be stuck in one place. You know, if you're still thinking all the time, you're not really moving forward. That's the truth. Because as we saw earlier, the more you focus, the more it amplifies. But as soon as you lose focus, it dissipates. It's like the way I see it, okay, there's this universal energy all the way, everywhere, that's creating everything. It's like the tapestry for everything. But when we focus in specific points, it's like our consciousness is pinching and pulling in this energy from this universal energy, and it amplifies where you have the focus. That's the truth of how this creation works, how God laid it out for us. And we use that to grow spirit. At first, it's very hard. We have all these obstacles. You know, we have the force, we have the life, we don't really know what to do. But hopefully, with this group, you know exactly what to do. Just get past these obstacles and grow. Because as soon as you start to realize that, okay, what's moving inside my body throughout, I can control it. Okay, when I focus in some spaces, it amplifies. When it amplifies, I move it. Okay, everything is amplified. Okay, it's growing. You do it again tomorrow. Okay, I'm not where I was before. It's even more. So it's literally growing, you know. And at some point, you just realize, hey, I'm the spirit that flows throughout the body, even outside and out, because it's freer. than the physical body, you're gonna be awakened. That's as simple as that. That's awakening, you know. Awakening is realizing that you are the spirit that's moving the physical body and moving throughout the physical body. And with Michael teachings, we get more in depth, much more in depth in all of that. There's the Avatar Awakening course. I think everyone is aware of that. Avatar Energy Mastery Institute, where they have all the Michael's Avatar courses. If anyone is interested with that in specifically that, you can go there. And if you're really interested, you can. I don't know if you have my email. I can give you my email. If you're really interested, I can see and give you a discount. I think Michael can approve that. Let me put my email here. Anyone interested in Avatar Awakening course? So you get the whole material there. But then there's the mctol.org, the advanced learning group Michael has, where there's all of his avatar material plus all of his new material. But the difference is where when you go and buy uh, the Avatar Energy Mastery course, get all the material once at once, then you study at your own on your own. But when you go to the forum, you get the materials delivered to you once a month, and the way it works there, you choose the amount you want to pay for the forum, and you get access to, like monthly, you get access to more and more material, and everything is the avatar, the kinetic communion, and soon there will be like the Tree of Life initiation course. Everything Michael has learned through his journey, and he shared with you. And I work with him as a teacher, and my goal is to help everyone who's becoming aware of his work to get started. I really want all of you to get started and really start to feel energy and to awaken, because my awakening was profound and it changed my life. It changed my life path, like completely, like 180 degrees. And I want that for you, because there's even more after that. Awakening is just a awakening, right? Then there's a growth, and there's the building of a relationship with God. It's all good from there on, It's in the path. I don't say it's easy. That's why we are there, a growing community, like-minded people, and we want to get people to awakening and growth and feeling all of this. And this is the journey humanity is on. That's we are flipping, we're changing. It's like the dawn of the awakening of humanity. So we are awakening, and humanity is gonna awaken. There's no escaping that. But we can be at the forefront of it, like when we are at the forefront of awakening, we affect the collective consciousness. We accelerate the awakening of others. So that's all good, It's gonna help the whole collective. So I hope you enjoyed today's talk, and even if there was no really exchanges, I would like us to have more exchanges, but it's all right, And I hope you had value with what I shared today. But just before we leave, do you have any questions for me today? I just type in the website too, if anyone is not aware of it. You're very welcome, and I hope you got value out of it. If you have any questions, you can email me. You have my email. I'll be happy to clarify anything that was not clear today. My mission and goal is always to clarify the path for everyone. My mission is to help you find the simplicity in it and make it easy. Not easy, but I always say easy, but it's simple. It's so simple, and we just have to to build strength to walk the path. You have to build strength to walk the path, build the willpower to walk the path. And that's what we build, we build our willpower, uh we build our presence, we build our willpower, build our character. That's what we are becoming, we are becoming. Being human is the first stage, and there's so much to come. So I was very happy to talk to you, everyone. I hope I'm gonna meet you again on our next awakening study group. Tomorrow there will be the affirmation and alignment meeting with Michael. I think everyone gets the link, and hopefully we see you there too. Happy afternoon and good weekend to everyone. God bless you. Bye.